Hey, did you know you might already have prediabetes and not even know it? I'm Dr. Loy Anderson, and I talked about this last week in our functional medicine wellness community on Facebook, and you're welcome to join that. It's called Thrive in Health and Wellness. We do lots of fun challenges, share recipes, share informative videos, and we'd love to have you part of that community. But I told you I was going to share 5 tips to help you if you had prediabetes. Now, here's the scary thing about it. 1 out of 3 Americans, 1 out of 3 already have prediabetes, and the vast majority don't even know it. I talked about some of those symptoms last week on our Facebook page, so check it out in our Facebook group. But I want to share with you today the 5 tips that I think would give you the most traction, the biggest bang for your buck right now to turn this thing around. Because if you don't address this, you will develop diabetes within 10 years. And in fact, 70% of people with prediabetes are going to develop diabetes within that 10-year time frame. So what do we do about it? It is not just your genetics. You are not just a helpless victim in this situation. Start looking at your lifestyle. The first thing I want you to look at, this is tip number 1, think about letting go of snacking and drinking between meals. You want to eat and drink enough at your meals to sustain you all the way from one meal to the next, ideally about 3 meals a day, and let go of the snacking in between meals. A lot of us just do that out of habit or routine without really thinking about it. But if you're truly hungry, it's probably because you didn't get enough at that last meal. So thinking about letting go of that snacking and drinking beverages between meals will help you, because you're not always continually raising your blood sugar and then raising your insulin, which promotes that insulin resistance. Okay, so tip number 2 goes right along with this. Most of us are used to drinking a lot of our calories in between meals and all those beverages that we drink. So what are you going to drink instead? Perfect idea, drink more water. So when you drink more water in between meals rather than at your meals, not only does your digestion improve, but you alleviate dehydration. And dehydration is often the biggest reason that we get cranky, tired, brain fog, and reach for a snack in between meals. So drinking more water helps with tip number 1 and helps you actually burn more calories so that you're actually burning more fat too. So there's so many benefits to drinking water. And it's a simple one. It's easy, it's free, and risk-free. You cannot hurt yourself with it. All right, tip number 3, just checking my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. Try not to eat after 7 p.m. and before 7 a.m. Those hours are sacred hours for your body to help rest and digest and clear toxins and rebalance hormones. All kinds of things are important things are happening between those hours. But if you're eating, then the resources get diverted to digesting that food. So do your very best to have your last meal no later than 7 p.m. and give yourself at least a 12-hour time to rest, if you will. That's why we call it break fast. We're breaking the fast. Now, some people will even go even longer. We start getting into intermittent fasting when we do that. I'm not talking about intermittent fasting here today. That's a whole nother thing we could talk about. But just give yourself that nice 12-hour window of not eating anything that improves your sleep, helps you regulate that insulin level. Okay? Tip number 4 is move every day. Just get a little movement every day. When we move our body, and we're not talking that you have to go run a marathon or work out at the gym for an hour, just move every day. Park a little further from the store, take the stairs. Especially if you can do this right after a meal. If you can go for a stroll outside for a few minutes after a meal, it immediately helps your body utilize the blood sugar that you just ate from that meal and get it into the cells instead of having a lot of insulin resistance. So just simple movement every day, and especially after meals, is a great tip. And that leaves us with number 5, guys, and our last one has to do with sleep. If you can get at least 7.5 hours of sleep every night, that is going to go such a long ways in balancing your hormones, especially cortisol, which is a fat-storing hormone, and insulin, which is also a fat-storing hormone. And those go up when we don't get enough sleep, when we have disrupted or poor quality or lack of sleep. Those hormones go up, they promote insulin resistance, they promote poor sleep quality, we're fatigued, we're brain foggy, all that stuff that we're trying to avoid. So just aim for getting at least 7.5 hours of sleep every night. Those 5 tips are going to take you a long ways, help you prevent that downward spiral from insulin resistance to prediabetes to diabetes, because we know diabetes is a risk for all kinds of health problems, including heart attacks, strokes, dementia, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. So take it seriously, guys. The power is in your hands, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.